You know, it's interesting. I've done a lot of interviews, both here and on my show, It's Your Call. And there seems to be a theme there that this economy and the problems that we've experienced in the last couple of years could actually turn out to be a good thing or have a silver lining where people are determining what's really important to them, or they're finding the kind of work that brings them satisfaction, or they're making do with less, or maybe, you know, doing something that helps for the greater good. Would you agree with that, or do we have to look at this as a half full or half empty situation?
Think that, first of all, it's very painful. I have a lot of friends that have lost their jobs. Some of them have lost their homes, and it's very, very painful. But change is always painful. And, you know, at Cybersoft, at least, we looked at this and said, is there any benefit that we can provide to our customers because of this? And we looked at it and we said, yes. We're probably the last all-American company in our field. We're the only company in the greater Philadelphia area. And we looked at the multinationals. They have very high pricing for their products. And we looked at it and said, you know what? If we could take this product and basically treat it like a commodity, we could save millions of dollars for our customers, and they wouldn't have to lay off people as much as they're saying they need to. So we actually are taking advantage of this to stand out from the fray, and by and we're doing it by just reducing our profit and giving back to our customers, and in exchange, they're not laying off people.
Oh, great thing. Well, I mean, you know, this is a time to look for those efficiencies, and it's also a time to look for where your strengths are. And I know a lot of the organizations that I've worked with have been, you know, it's like time to reevaluate. You know, maybe we're not going to go and start a new capital campaign right now. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. But we can be planning one, and we can be starting to lay the groundwork for how we're going to grow as the economy starts to recover. So, I mean, I think that what you're saying is absolutely true. It's definitely a time to be reevaluating. You know, when the maybe business isn't as quite as lightning paced as always, is the perfect time to look at it as a whole entity and where you fit in with your customers and with the economy.
Yeah, and Peter, I do want to clarify. I don't want to give the impression that it has not been painful. I mean, certainly the loss of jobs and loss of homes, and that has just had a tremendous impact on so many people. I'm looking at it from a business perspective because a lot of people have used this opportunity to either reinvent themselves or to perhaps try entrepreneurship that they otherwise may not have been forced to look at.
I was going to mention, too, that I think that it's forced companies and individuals to be more collaborative. We've been doing different kinds of work with other companies that we've worked for years in the past, but this tough economy has actually opened the door and made more things possible as opposed to less, which I find very interesting. So you may be bringing in less money or less profit, but you're building more relationships and more unusual types of collaborations, such as us with nonprofits, where rules are a little bit more flexible these days because people need to stay in business. They want to continue to help their clients and their customers, so they're looking at ways to work together to do it, which is very positive.
You used the word relationship. I wanted to know how important relationships are in business today as perhaps compared to 5 or 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh, at the spa, that's what reigns supreme. Relationship is everything. These are times that really bring out creativity in business owners. And what I'd say is relationships that I've had with clients for 20 years, things had to be modified. I had a client come in and say, all my money was in Goldman Sachs and Fannie Mae, and now what am I going to do? Well, we figure out a different program to treat that person. It's creativity and going with the flow and understanding. That's what you do to serve people.
Michael, I would imagine with nonprofits, educationals, that kind of thing, that those relationships are really important to maintain in a tough economic climate.
My business has always been based on relationships and interpersonal relationships, and I think it goes back. I think all of us would probably share this because it sounds like we're all passionate about what we do, and when you communicate that passion, you end up having more intense relationships with your customers than just, here's a product, here's the price, I'll talk to you later. And I don't know that my focus on relationships has actually really altered at all in the last couple of years. I don't think it's any different. I think that it's always been the core of how I work. I meet people through network. People hear about the work that my company does, and they're impressed because of how we do it, the results that it has, the quality of it. And it sounds like all of us really function in a very similar way. So,
Yeah.
And doesn't it seem that referrals are really important? I mean, that's part of the relationship.
well, absolutely. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in terms of the way that I, look, if you want to talk about, quote, sales, I don't really sell what I do. I go out and I meet people, and if the relationship is going to work and there's going to be fertile ground for making sales, then that's what happens. But I'm not necessarily just, shotgun approaching out into a marketplace. It's all through people seeing or experiencing the work that we do.
Right. The personal experience is really important.
And that's where those referrals come from for our company.
Well, again, I think it's really a question of the negative economic impact has heightened the importance of relationships and relationship deal making, because it's no longer just financial consideration. People can go around and shop for a better price for something, but if they feel sort of what we're talking about, our passion and everything else, and our real interest in our clients and their needs or their sufferings, the things that they're going through that we're sensitive to, as Peter even talked about his price reduction, as you talk about it in both of your businesses, it matters, and it's what keeps our businesses strong.
Also, what keeps business strong is marketing the business in the marketplace, and that's what we're going to talk about. But first, we have to take a quick break. This is Lynn Doyle saying stay with us here on the Marketing of Business. You want to find out how these folks market their business, and they might have some suggestions that will be good for your businesses. But to find out, you have to stick with us. Welcome back again, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle, sitting in for Bonnie Squires. We are talking about the marketing of business, as we do each and every week. So obviously, I'd like to ask our guest how important marketing is and what tips they have for marketing their individual businesses. Peter Raddati is the president and CEO of Cybersoft. How important a role does marketing play for you?
Well, it's very important. I mean, people, if they don't know about you, they have to find out about you or they can't do business with you. So marketing turns out to be very important. And of course, there's different kinds of marketing, like this radio program, for example. But also word of mouth is really, really important. And you sort of need to tell your customers, please tell your friends about us, because they may not think of it, okay? And again, everybody was talking about relationships, and relationships are really important. And especially in this economic time, if the customer understands that you feel their pain, that you know the pain they're going through, and that you're trying to help them, that human touch is so important, because you don't get it with large multinationals.
Now, at the beginning of the program, you told us that Cybersoft has a wide variety of customers. How do you market to meet the needs of all of those when some may be a government and some may be an individual business?
Believe it or not, all of our international business has come by word of mouth. Absolutely all of it. And at this point, our products are on every continent on the planet. We are in the seas, and we are in orbit.
Oh,
in orbit?
There are things out there that are using our product.
That's amazing.
You can't buy those things, though.
Does it have on the side of the spaceship, Cybersoft?
Absolutely. It says powered by Cybersoft right on the side.
See, we're always giving you ideas for marketing.
Do you get a lot of phone calls from the side of the spaceship kind of a thing? I'm just curious.
It's really interesting. Those little green men are very interested in security because they're afraid of our hackers.
Emerging markets and green all at the same time.